Hey guys, you're in Game 5 of this PVT that we've got going here from the Numericable Millennium House Cup. And in the bottom left of Metropolis, in close by air positions, we have the Blue Terran playing for Team Prime. He's MarineKing.
And spine to the 12 o'clock, we have the Red Protest player. This is SKNC.
This series is tied 2-2. MarineKing coming in with some heavy Marine Marauder medevac pressure at the end of the last game after holding a pretty decent attack by MC. The Viking melting his Colossus count definitely gave MarineKing the edge in the final battle, especially after he sniped the very last Colossus.
Here we see MarineKing whining a little bit about map balance, saying this is a Protest map that he's just going to lose.
Oh, the whining. Statistically, it might be a Protoss balance map, but with MC and his 1,000 builds, there is always a chance that MarineKing might pull one of his builds out of the hat and just have it be better than MC's.
Yeah. You see builder losses occasionally in StarCraft 2. Almost never happen in Brood War, just because of the way the game is set up, but there's the chance in StarCraft 2 with so many varying strategies and so many varying builds that you can just get a straight builder loss.
What do you think is the reason that this map was so Protoss heavy? I never actually got the reasoning behind it. I understand why some maps are Zerg are better for Zerg because they're just wider and there's a lot of flanking options, but for this map, I don't exactly know why it's Protoss favored.
If you look at the setup, the expansions, it's easy to get to 3 bases and defend with a common choke point, and also the map structure in general has a lot of corridors that are just about the width of Colossus thermal lances, so that makes fighting with infantry or biotype units against the Colossus army very scary.
Well, we see only one basing out of both players right now. I don't know what we're going to really see. We see a cybernetic score coming from MC and the extra gas coming down, so we're not going to see too much warp gate play. An extra refinery is coming down from MarineKing, so this early factory might give us some reactored something or other, at least maybe moving into Banshees and Cloak from the MarineKing of Team Prime.
Yeah, the whole options are wide open. With the reactor building right here, you're not going to see the Cloak happen, at least not right away. He's going to try to get some map presence with some reactor battalions. That's just for the sake of scouting. They move fast. They don't cost gas, so it's a natural type of stepping order when you're in your Terran, trying to get up to 2 bases and do it somewhat safely. You just use that kind of setup.
When this barracks finishes building that reactor and lifts, if it puts down a tech lab, we will know that we will be seeing some Banshees coming out, and since it's being placed so close to that new starport, we're definitely going to see something out of it. There's the tech lab that bespeaks of some Banshees coming out, and so we're going to see the Prime player going for that kind of play, and he actually has enough gasp right now to probably research Cloak.
Yeah, this is kind of similar to the old 1-1-1 all-in that gave Protoss 8s for a long time until the balance patch eventually came out. That one did have siege tanks in it, though, instead of reactor battalions. Obviously, it's evolved a bit since patches changed balance somewhat. Was that when 4 gates was the only build through Protoss? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think that might have been at the tail end of it.
Yeah,
MC,
just
not
before
forgetting it all, he's going for that expansion and 3-gate. Probably Robo coming out of this.
Well, hopefully Robo, or he's going to have some issues with these Cloak Banshees coming in.
There's the Robo, and we have the Cloak being researched by MarineKing. Extra gates are going to be able to be very useful with some extra stalkers, but excuse me, for the hiccup, we have warp gate completed to finish, and looks like this first medevac is going to be some elevator Hellion play, but these stalkers are already here to catch that medevac.
Yep.
And how many probes do you think are going to get killed by this push? Great force fields by the boss toss.
4,
and
5. 6.
8 workers killed.
8. There you go.
Woo! That's actually a pretty good push for only 4 Hellions. But he did lose all
Lost
4
the
Hellions,
medevac.
and no, he didn't. It's still alive.
Oh, well, there it is. I'm looking over there on the dead part of the map that no one goes to.
Yeah, this is one of those versions with the island. The Banshee's coming in, and its cloak is about to be finished. We have another Banshee coming in right behind it, and the Observer for MC cannot get here too quickly for the Protoss. He's going to save it. MarineKing taking the advice of casters like Artosis and Tasteless, not cloaking until it's under fire, but now it's under fire from some sentries, although it will be able to pick them off one at a time. The Observer just now pops out and is chasing this Banshee away.
Getting the pick on those sentries is really good for Banshees. And sentries are going to be what gives the Protoss player the ability to defend with gateways against Battle Army, early on anyways. Until they get splash damage, they need to rely on force fields.
He did another 8 workers killed with that Banshee and a single kill on a sentry, and now we have observers and stalkers almost everywhere. So he's going to be able to hold off this second Banshee that will be coming out from the Terran player, but the Banshees are now grouped up with the Marines, checking for any forward pylons in the very back of his base. I think he's going to start pushing across the map. Extra barracks coming down for reinforcements, and we have MC going into a little bit more of a macro play, building some probes in a single robotics facility, but he's not actually utilizing the gateways that he has available, and we don't have any extra pylons coming in that would speak of some extra supply available for continued warp-ins, and MarineKing is indeed pushing across the map with his Marine Banshee composition he's got going.
It's a little weird. MC just abandoned his natural for didn't look to be any real reason. Oh, we saw the attack coming observers. Just didn't feel comfortable holding that, I suppose.
It looks like we're going to be seeing MarineKing snipe this main, and it looks like MC's forces are going to be choked at the top of his ramp. Now he's supply blocked, and those extra pylons that I mentioned would have come in great use right now. MarineKing pulling back, and he's going to scout a little bit with his factory just to see what MC is going to be able to do. But since he's giving him this extra time to resupply, expand, I guess, with these extra pylons, I think it might have been a mistake.
Yeah, well, even with the later second base by MarineKing, with all this harassment he did, he was ahead in workers, and that's just going to multiply even more by killing the Nexus. So MarineKing is in a good spot in this match. This is his game to lose at this point.
Well, he looks like he's getting a little bit of an upgrade advantage, and the production tab for him is so much more active than it is for MC because he didn't have that Nexus and the extra income that it gives. The mineral line for MarineKing's natural is completely saturated. He doesn't have a 4th gas right now, but he doesn't actually need it with his current composition of just Marine Marauder, no Marauders, excuse me, just Marines and a couple of Banshees. Now he's replaced the tech lab on that starport with a reactor, and he's just pumping out a number of medevacs.
We see MC making the switch into Colossus. Again, the first one coming out now.
And we have 3 Banshees and a Raven coming out for the Terran player, putting down that defensive drone.
Oh, that defense drone is going to help so much here. These Banshees are going to be able to do a ton of damage.
Losing 1, but not before he knocks out 3 stalkers. Another stalker takes out that second Banshee, and this push is repulsed, but not before losing some of MC's own units. Now we see a huge probe transfer of 13 probes to that new Nexus in the bottom, but MarineKing looks like he's trying to shut this down again with just a huge amount of Marines, a couple of Marauders, and 3 medevacs.
And here comes the factory to check out his army composition.
A single spin from this composition will move forward and attack that Colossus, and all the Marines will take out those Immortals in almost no time, as well as all these Zealots. There's not enough force fields from these. Well, I guess there are enough force fields. There are 16 total force fields available from these fully full energy sentries, and MarineKing is going to be able to take out any observer with this Raven. Waiting for more reinforcements coming across the map. The supplies are 142 to 89. Supply depots are inbound for MarineKing to continue that kind of production. And
I think he's waiting for the Vikings to get there to help with the Colossus.
oh, so true. Reactored Vikings, such a great idea from MarineKing. He's only going to use those 2 though, because he's got and he starts 2 more right as I say that. He's probably just giving a little bit of a soft contain right here.
Also, I think waiting for 100 energy on his Raven for another point defense drone.
There it is.
There's 100 energy, and there's the attack.
There's the point defense drone. 5 force fields dropped in quick succession.
Sorry, good force field, but the Colossus just was overwhelmed by Vikings and Marauders. This is GG.
Yeah, MC knows that he just can't survive, that Colossus was his one and only hope. And he loses the series 2-3 against the MarineKing of Team Prime. So this is another great series that went to 5 games. I had so much fun casting it. How about you, Eclipse?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really strong play, a lot of variations in builds and strategies too. So it's always fun to see players change stuff up, do different stuff, and helps you, learn more StarCraft.
Absolutely, always entertaining, this StarCraft game of ours. And we're going to jump into another best of 5 for you fine folk in just a second. From Chaotic TV, I am KO.
This is Eclipse.
And we'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.